Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome to AdamMcKola TV. We are back with another weekly United. Hope you guys are all doing well. I'm still feeling good after that Manchester derby win. Scott McTominay's late winner, and of course Anthony Martial's goal, giving United the sweet victory. And now that's 10 games unbeaten. 10 games unbeaten for Manchester United, 7 wins, 3 draws, 24 scored, 2 conceded, 8 clean sheets. We're going pretty well at the moment. But as we know, football can change very quickly. Things can change very quickly. And one bad result can see a team go on a run of bad form. So we need to keep at it. We need to keep our feet on the ground and keep attacking each game as they come. And who knows where that could leave Manchester United at the end of the season. We're still going in the Europa League, and obviously that takes precedence this week. And we're still going in the FA Cup as well, with Norwich to come in the quarter-final. So things are going well there in the cup competitions, and we're still just behind Chelsea, fighting for that 4th spot. I say 4th spot, 5th could get Champions League football, but who knows what happens with City's financial fair play punishment and whether that sticks or not with the appeal. So let's say top 4 for now, and then who knows, if we miss out, get 5th, and it's a bonus that we get Champions League football, even better. But we got lots to talk about today. Tahith Chong has signed a new deal, so we're going to discuss that. Then, of course, we've seen some transfer rumours coming through. We've obviously got the news that United's Europa League game will be played behind closed doors. Player of the Month as well was announced. A Manchester United player won the PFA Player of the Month. I'm sure you can guess who that is. And, of course, a disgusting story from the Manchester derby as well, which unfortunately we'll have to touch on at the end of this video. But first things first, as I mentioned, Tahith Chong has signed a new deal. Now, it was rumoured that he'd be going to Inter Milan, potentially on a free transfer at the end of the season. He'd been linked with a move there, but the reports were that Inter Milan wanted to send him out on loan. That could have been a deal breaker for Tahith Chong, because he then signed the deal that was on play from Manchester United, and he's obviously confirmed his future at Manchester United. Whether he goes out on loan or not remains to be seen, because that's something that I feel like Tahith Chong needs. He's clearly got talent. I don't buy into this stuff where people are saying he's a fraud and this, that and the other. I think people are too quick to build up younger players, and they're too quick to knock them down. And obviously, breaking into the first team's a difficult period for him. He's shown glimpses of a talent and the talent that he is, but he's also shown that he's a little bit out of his depth in areas. And I think physically, he needs to mature, and maybe in his experience and his decision making. But the talent's clearly there, and I think anybody that comes through at United will have the talent. They also need the mental fortitude and the mentality to make it, and a little bit of luck. Now, I feel like he needs a loan move, whether that's to another Premier League team or to a team in one of the top leagues elsewhere. What could that do for him, you know, in terms of his development, playing week in, week out, getting more mature? Because I don't think at United he'd be playing week in, week out next season. When you're looking at, you know, Marcus Rashford's going to play on the left, potentially making signings in those wide positions. Jadon Sancho's linked. He can't play up top. He can't play in the midfield position. So he's looking in those wider areas, and he is someone that offers us that natural width. So maybe as a squad player, he could provide an option like he has done this season. But I feel like he needs regular football, and maybe a loan move would be best for Tahith Chong. But I'm happy to see that we've agreed a deal and got him signed up at Manchester United, because you don't want to lose your best talents as well. Hopefully Angel Gomez is next. The PFA Player of the Month for February was also announced as well. It's a fans voted award, so I'm sure Manchester United fans voted in their droves, and of course maybe a little bit of bias in their votes, but I'm sure we'll agree it's thoroughly deserved as well. Bruno Fernandes, the Player of the Month, PFA Player of the Month for February, has been absolutely fantastic for Manchester United. His influence in terms of him, his attitude, expecting to win every single match. You can tell that's rubbing off on some of the players, but also the quality that he's providing as well. He's got fantastic quality in linking up with players, helping set the press as well, and helping retrieve the ball back. He might not make a lot of tackles, and he can make tackles, but he might not make a lot of tackles, but he'll always be in and around things, hurrying players on the ball and maybe helping his teammate come in and make a tackle. He's got that never say die attitude, which you like to see from Man United players. and the quality to match as well. A goal and 2 assists, sees him win the award for February, but obviously got that great assist in the Manchester derby for Anthony Martial as well. And again, I don't think Anthony Martial is even thinking of that if he's playing with Andreas Pereira or with Jesse Lingard, because obviously they're out of form, they're not performing, but I just don't think he thinks, or sometimes what players have got in them, and that's obviously something they've worked on, but it's something that when you've got that quality and a player can stick the ball in there right in the right spot, you're going to make those runs. And it was a great bit of link-up play between them. And as we're seeing in that little hug at the end of the game and celebrating McTominay's goal, they've struck up a little bit of a friendship and a little bit of a partnership on the field, and that's great to see as well. When we get Marcus Rashford back, I can't wait. As mentioned earlier, United's game against LASK Linz will be played behind closed doors. No Manchester United fans, no Linz fans. It will be televised, so it'll just be media in there and maybe a few journalists and the teams. But it will be played behind closed doors. And we've seen Serie A games have been affected. Other games around the world have been affected. But as of yet, no Premier League games or no Premier League teams have been affected. United have now been affected by it, but no games have been cancelled yet. So, how will this develop? I'm not a medical expert. I don't know. Obviously, I'm not sitting at home frantically scared about it, but it's obviously going to affect some people. Now, while the medical world searching for a vaccination or whatever, do you resolve this situation? Obviously preventing big group meetups, and that's what this is intended to do. Now, it's still strange because you'll still find there are other big meetups elsewhere, but football at the moment and sporting activities are taking the hit for this at the minute, and that's going to affect teams in terms of financially and competitions as well. What's going to happen to the Euros if these European competitions and the leagues end up being delayed, like we have seen with the Serie A and things like that, and leagues get delayed, then the Euros has to get delayed or cancelled or postponed or whatever. It's really interesting to see how this will unfold, and there's still, we know the Premier League's done and there's a few games to go, and those games will get done and Liverpool will be confirmed champions, but there's still things to be sorted in terms of top 4 relegation, big things which are financially beneficial and lucrative to these clubs. So I'm sure the league will force these games through by hook or by crook, because of the fact that yes, you need fans, and fans make the games, and watching games without fans is really weird, but ultimately a lot of the revenue for clubs doesn't come from this. A sustained period of losing out on match day revenue will obviously hit teams and hit some of the smaller teams, but the bigger teams and the teams that are competing in the Europa League and the Premier League and stuff like Champions League, the TV money is where's the money is at for them. So it's interesting to see how this unfolds, but United's game will be played behind closed doors. Now, there were sad reports coming out after the Manchester derby in relation to a young man that works for Manchester United via an employment agency. A young black man that was travelling to the game, travelling to the stadium to work, going to the ground with his bike and his bag as he usually does, and he was harassed and harangued by stewards and security staff at the stadium, given some injuries as well. Police didn't listen to his pleas for help, and he was racially abused at Old Trafford. It's being reported, and this is now being, United are cooperating with police. Police were involved in the situation, which makes it a little bit weird that the police are, but obviously they're going to have to deal with it. First things first, I hope the little man is cool. I say little man, he was a young man, 19 years old, going to work, and he was subject to that. Now, a lot of people of ethnic minorities will be used to being profiled and being dealt like that, and to some people it will be alien to them. But these things are sadly a way of life, not just at football, but everywhere, and they need to be clamped out. And we don't want them at Old Trafford. We don't want them at Man United. We don't want them when people are going to work at the stadium. It's a joke. So hopefully United deal with this and deal with this properly, and deal with the agency that they're using to employ these security staff. It's a disgrace. Right then, transfer news as we always have on the Weekly United, and first things first, Jude Bellingham, who's been linked with Manchester United, plays for Birmingham City, young 16-year-old lad, highly talented midfielder, highly rated as well. He's been linked with a whole host of clubs and everybody's in for him. He's been allowed to speak with, well, his representatives, who are his parents, are being allowed to speak with different clubs. He met with Dortmund recently and he's now met with Manchester United. His parents were pictured coming out of Carrington, and there was someone in the back with a hood on as well, which is believed to be Jude Bellingham. They met staff at the Carrington, which is believed to be Ed Woodward, Matt Judge, and apparently Sir Alex Ferguson as well. So maybe Sir Alex Ferguson has had to step in to deal with some of these transfer dealings and to entice players in. Or we've seen how important it is to get these kind of players in. A young, massively talented player like this, you know, I'm not comparing him as a player because they're their own players, but you think of the likes of Wayne Rooney. Fergie made sure he got him. And he's always made sure he got the best talent, and maybe United are seeing the importance of this talent and what he can be, and they're thinking we need to make sure we pull out all the stops to get him to join us, and maybe that's why Sir Alex Ferguson's been wheeled out. Of course it doesn't mean he's joining United, doesn't mean he's joining United at all, because obviously, like, these things happen in football. Players will travel to training grounds and have trials and meet with staff and weigh up their future. He probably had, you know, a great time at Borussia Dortmund's place as well. So we have to wait to see how this one unfolds, but interesting to see that we are in for him, and we're taking things seriously by the looks of it. And finally, we're talking about Jack Grealish again. It feels like we talk about him every single week. You know my opinions on him already. I want him to sign for Manchester United, and obviously it looks like he'll be on the move in the summer, which is music to my ears, but not getting my hopes up yet. Although the rumours continue to come in, the Daily Mail this time around saying United are willing to pay up to £70 million for Jack Grealish. Now, when we've spoken about him on the channel, I've said I think he's going to come in for around £60 million, £70 million. Obviously, if they get relegated, it's going to be a little bit cheaper, probably about 50. And if they stay up, it will probably be around that 70 million mark that's being reported. But I think it's a value for money move. I think his quality, obviously experienced in the Premier League, takes a lot of pressure on his shoulders and he's used to that. It'd be interesting to see him at Manchester United now. There's talk that, you know, potentially Paul Pogba could be staying. Now, I'm not getting my hopes up on that one. But if we did keep Paul Pogba in the summer, which I think is a possibility when you look at his price fee, his wages, are Juventus and Real Madrid going to be able to make that happen? It's going to take a lot of money for them to do that. So when you think of that, if Pogba stayed, would there be space for Jack Grealish? Now, I wouldn't mind seeing him, you know, maybe potentially playing in one of the wider areas, floating inside. He can obviously play in the number 10 position as well. He's a very good midfielder, but it's about options. You're not going to be able to play every player every time. If Pogba did stay though, it'd be interesting to see how we then manoeuvre ourselves in the market. And Jack Grealish does kind of feel like a signing that would be made if he left. Which does seem likely still, but I'd still take him even if he stayed as well. I feel he could play in any of those, if he played a 4-2-3-1, in any of those three positions in behind the striker. And obviously Paul Pogba is a central midfielder. He can play in the 8 position. So yes, with Pogba and Bruno, you've got a lot of options in the creative midfield area and in the midfield areas, but I still think Jack Grealish could come in and get a spot in that team. Obviously then, if you sign Jadon Sancho though, it's more question marks over if you do bring in Jack Grealish, because then there are really no first team spots available. But it'd be great to have those options, wouldn't it? And they're all still rumours at this moment in time, so we have to wait to see how they develop. But 50, 70 million, take Jack Grealish for that. Guys, thank you for tuning in to the Weekly United and AdamMcKola TV today. Been absolutely appreciated. Make sure you're keeping it locked and you're subscribing to the channel as well, because there's more content coming. As you've seen, there's been daily content almost, so we're keeping it moving here on AdamMcKola TV and we're keeping the content coming as well. So make sure you subscribe, like, comment, share, keep it locked. Get your thoughts in the comment below on everything we've discussed, on how you think the coronavirus thing might develop. You might be more in the know than I am. Of course, Jack Grealish, Jude Bellingham, and Tahith Chong's new contract. Let us know what you thought about everything discussed today. Keep it locked to AdamMcKola TV. Like, comment and share. For now, I'm out of here.